Hello and welcome back everyone. So we are going to learn today about functions, and this is day 6 and we will be learning about functions. So what is a function if it is asked in our interviews? So functions are simply codes, we can say block of codes that can perform a certain task repetitive number of times. That means as many number of times as we want. So instead of writing a same code, uh, I won't say exactly like code because that we have already said for loops, right? So we are supposed to print or we want to perform, we are not performing a certain task over here, but in functions we are performing a certain task again and again. Say suppose I want to turn on the TV. Like I have given example of here. Think of a TV remote. When you press the power button, a predefined task is performed. Similarly, in Python, calling a function executes a predefined block of code. So a similar block of code is present in the TV remote as well. Now, if we talk about what is a function, so it is a block of code that performs a specific task and be called multiple times from different parts of the program. Suppose I am performing addition multiple times in my program. So I can call that particular addition function and number of times as many times as I want. So I can have a question, why do we use function? The first reason stands to avoid duplication. To improve code readability, our code is more readable, that we will see how. Making debugging easier since there are block of codes. Enabling code reusability, so we can use that particular block of code as many number of times as we want, and we are breaking a large problem into smaller ones. Now creating a function. How can we create a function? Syntax stands over here. So def function name and then the print statement and then we will call the function. Simple thing. So similarly, I have called a function over here which is def greet. We are printing welcome to learn coding daily and we are calling the greet function. So this is how we call a function. Now which keyword is used to define a function? That is def. Def for define. Now function with parameters. Suppose here I have taken the name as parameter. So we are printing hello along with the name. Now parameters receive values while arguments are the actual values passed during the function call. So when I will run this program, this name is the parameter, but when I will run the program, when it is asking for the input of certain statement, that is where this comes in picture, that arguments are there. Instead of parameters, we call it as arguments. So what is the difference between parameters and arguments? Parameters are variable in function definition, while arguments are the actual values that are passed to the functions. Now if we ask that yes, do we have a return statement? Yes, we have a return statement in Python. So whenever suppose I am performing the addition operation over here, we do have a return function that is going to return us with the result of two variables, and we can print that return as well. Now can a function have multiple returns? Yes, it can have multiple returns. Now what is the difference between print and return? Print displays output on the screen, whereas return sends value back to the calling code. Okay, so print is displaying us the output, whereas return is sending a value back from where we are calling the code. Now there are types of arguments. Positional argument. So positional argument are what? These are positional argument, and these are keyword argument, where I have within this first bracket I have written the variable name and its value, whereas these are positional argument where I have just written the name of the variables, and while calling them I am assigning them the parameter. So this is parameter, this is argument. This is the difference. Now I guess it's clear. So default arguments. What are the default arguments? This def greet name equal to guest, print hello. We are calling the greet function and we are greeting by my name, which is you. So this is the default argument. Now what are variable length argument? That is star args. Variable length arguments are, suppose these are in nature, if we look at them by nature, these are tuples. Okay. So see over here, these are all tuples. And what are KWARGs are keyword arguments, that is dictionaries. So all these are dictionaries. Yes, so as I was discussing, the difference between positional arguments, parameters and arguments. So parameters are basically these values that are in the variables in the function definition, and arguments are the actual values passed to the function. So these are the arguments, whereas these are the parameters. So a and b are the parameters over here, and 10, 20 are the arguments. So what is the difference between print and return? Print displays the output on the screen, whereas return sends a value back to the calling code. That is the difference. Now let us come to star ARGS and KW star ARGS. The difference is nothing but just star ARGS, when we are printing like this, it is going to print in the form of tuples, whereas double star KW ARGS is going to print in the form of dictionary, that is in the form of key value pairs. Now we are coming up to the types of variables, local and global. It's very simple to understand. When we are defining a variable, when we are declaring a variable inside a function, that is a local variable. If we are declaring a function outside the function, it is global. Like over here it's local, and over here it's global. This is the simplest thing how we can explain these two. So local variable, what is it? Declared inside a function. Global is declared outside a function. Local is accessible only inside that function. Global is accessible throughout the program. Now very important topic, what are lambda functions? So a lambda is an anonymous function, single expression function. So square equal to lambda x colon x into x, that means we are doing square of x, and we are printing the square of 5, so this will be 25. So what is a lambda function? Lambda function is an anonymous function created using lambda keyword, typically used for short one-line operations. Next up we have is the very important concept, which is recursion. So what is recursion? A function calling itself is known as recursion. So suppose I have taken a function, I am defining a function as countdown, and I have taken n as a parameter. And I have given a condition over here that if n equal to 0, it is going to return and print n. Then we are calling the function countdown n minus 1, and then we are again calling the function time. So this is a function which is calling itself. So this is recursion. Why recursion stops? If we come up to this thing, that why recursion stops? Because our end condition has met. That's the reason. So if we come, what is recursion? We add a T. What is recursion? Recursion is a technique in which a function calls itself unless the stopping condition, that is the base case, is reached. Now let us come up to some built-in user-defined functions. So len, sum, print, max, minimum, type. These are all the built-in functions that we already have. Nested function, I am not going over there. It is very simple. A function inside a function is called a nested function. Now the common mistakes that you make while using functions is that forgetting the function to call, missing the return statement, confusing parameter with arguments, using a local variable outside the function, modifying global variables without the global keyword. So all these are things that are common for making mistakes. Now here I have listed some common interview questions and some coding practice programs as well. You can have a look at them. I will try to solve out these in some short videos so that we can cover it really quickly, and some interview tips are also there for you. So if you want to access this file, please let me know in the comment section. I'll surely do it for you. Till then, keep watching, keep learning. Thank you to everyone.